Hey everybody, okay, time for Gencon update number 2. Don't think this will be quite as long as the first one was because unfortunately today I did not play any games at all. Much to my chagrin, I would have liked to, but I spent the majority of the day running around. I actually brought a lot of copies of games that Jen and I don't play much anymore and sold in auction. Whole big bunch of luggage full of them, as you might have guessed. And I was running around today trying to get those games to all the folks who had won them in the auctions. So that took up a lot of time, and I didn't get anywhere near done. I hardly made a dent. It's very, very difficult trying to schedule a meet in Gencon, as you will potentially soon see, because I also started trying to do my filming of the entire show, literally walking from out on the front street, out where the food vans are, through the front door, and walking you step by step through every square inch of this show, which anybody who's here will tell you is a crazy idea. I don't know if I'm actually going to be able to pull that off, but I'm going to give it a go. And actually, for folks who had seen how I had done that at the Essen show, and maybe were a bit put off by how there was way too much camera motion, some very, very good news. My new camera showed up as well, which is, what is this? This is a Sony. It's used, so I don't actually have the box. I can't really check it. It's the Sony HDR PJ650, and the cool thing about this camera is the actual lens floats inside the chassis, and as I move my hand around, the camera, oh, there we go, yeah, the camera kind of automatically compensates. I'm shaking the camera fairly violently right now, and I believe the image is still being very clear. So hopefully, I've stopped shaking the camera now. The run through of the Gencon convention hall and all that stuff will be a little bit more viewable for folks who are a bit more sensitive to excess motion. I'm very excited about this new camera. Well, I picked it up while I was over here because it's of course much cheaper in the States, and because we needed a replacement since Jen unfortunately dropped my camera and its autofocus doesn't work anymore. The old Panasonic, heartbreaker there. But anyway, so that's cool. I started filming that today, and I might actually upload the first chapter. I was thinking I was going to do it all as one big long thing, but maybe not. It's pretty late, and I don't know if I'm really feeling up to that right now. But that'll be coming soon. So that's very cool, and I think it'll be really interesting for folks. I not only just kind of showing you, but I also want to talk about how Gencon works. It has a very interesting structure, almost kind of like a carnival, the way you get into stuff. And so I'll talk about that too, so folks who are thinking about coming into Gencon in the future will be able to make better informed decisions, because I didn't know anything coming into this place, and it's a weird place. Let's see what else. Well, I didn't play any games today, but I did talk to quite a few people. I had a bunch of really nice conversations. Probably the best one, I talked with Brian from one of the co-designers of Myth, and although I can't think of their company's name right now, the publisher will come back to me in a second. Anyway, so I talked to Brian for actually quite a while about the review I did of it, in my final thoughts, and also what their plans are and how things are going. And I gotta say, having come away from that conversation, I am more excited about Myth than ever. I love every single thing he described to me that they are actually planning on doing in the future. Because I asked, my biggest question was, are they planning on Myth to carry on its persistence? How far are they planning to take it? And his answer in a nutshell is, well, basically as far as players want to go. This is the antithesis to Pathfinder, which broke my heart by saying, oh yeah, your character has a shelf life. This game they want to keep expanding as long as people are interested in it. And he told me about some of the ways they plan on doing it, that they've designed into the game from day one, and it just sounds brilliant. Like, the whole problem with the white discs, that over time your treasure cup will just get emptied of them. Their attitude is, that's cool, because of course they want the greens to become the new whites, because eventually they'll get to the point where those greens are completely pointless. Then you wonder, well, how do you get all the basic potions? Well, I'm not quite sure what I'm supposed to say and what I'm not supposed to say, what has and hasn't been announced, so I'll stop right there. But they have plans that you might be able to guess pretty easily what those plans are, so that to ensure that you can get potions without having to rely on the treasure bag. And I love their ideas for how they plan to continue the overall character arc. How when you hit a certain level, you'll specialize your character, get a bunch of new stuff, and also one of my personal biggest complaints, aside from polish issues and stuff like that, but the actual real complaint of the game, the whole thing about how you can't really have any permanent character advancement unless you complete the story quests. They're actually looking at that too, as putting in alternate ways, official ways, game tested ways to achieve or to let you get those permanent balance things, and those sounded awesome too. So sorry if you're not interested in Myth, but I still am, and everything Brian talked to me about was great. Plus, actually, I found out about him and his background. Turns out we're video game brothers from another mother. I was working on Siphon Filter for Eidetic at the same time that he was working on EverQuest at Verant, and so we were this close. We hardly knew it in the video game industry back in the heyday. And so we had a really interesting talk about, the parallels between video game development and board game development, and, what they brought to it. It's great. I apologize for not filming it because it was, for me anyway, it was fascinating. And that I had so much fun just talking about design with the guy. I gained a whole new level of respect for him and what they're trying to achieve. So I think Myth is still a game to watch. Never mind the fact they're doing so many cool things. I mean, they've offered money back programs. They've offered the trade program. They're really doing their best to take care of the customers. And I could sing their praises. As a company and as developers who are doing the best they can for their product. I'm still excited. But actually, I spent a lot of time talking to another designer as well. First-time designer Daryl Anders, who was part of the two-man design team on my brand new copy of Walled City. There are only 2 copies of this in the world, and I got one of them. Daryl has the other one. And, because he likes my videos, he really wanted me to do a run-through, and I've been excited about this game forever. So I can't wait to get home and actually do a run-through for it. For Mercury Games, we really liked Mercury Games' last game, Capitals. So they were on a roll, because I'm hoping, if they had the good sense to publish Capitals, that reflects well on Walled City also. This is a cool game, where the central gameplay mechanism is gerrymandering, which is awesome. But anyway, I haven't played it yet, but I've got it. I'll be looking into it when I get back to Malta. But Daryl and I, we spent a long time talking about design, and I gotta say, I've just been having so much fun doing that because I used to be a professional designer myself, and I just found them really fascinating, interesting talks. Not that that's particularly good for you because, of course, I didn't record it and I'm not really giving you any new information that you guys don't already have. So, again, my apologies that this is perhaps not as fruitful as yesterday's update, but I figured it was still worthwhile. Now, is there anything else worth talking about? Today was actually a day of frustration, too, because I was actually going around trying to get some of the review copies of games that publishers had promised me. And it turns out, I don't know, I guess I just don't rate as much as I thought I did, because it turns out they were just, they just sold those copies instead. And so, no review copies of various 100 games for me, and say la vie. I still got plenty of games, and I'll keep on covering them for you guys. But that was still kind of minorly irksome. Oh, I met Matt Leacock. Nicest guy in the world. I in a rare fit of fanboydom, I actually got a selfie with me and Matt. Matt Leacock, the designer of Pandemic, and of course I told him, and I think he was a bit surprised when I said, "Yeah, you know what? Your game changed my life and my wife's life." I mean, that was really, really cool. That was a high point of the day, getting to talk to him a little bit about the game and what's going on, and I wasn't allowed to say anything. Not that he really told me hardly anything at all, so I don't really think I have much to say there. Yeah, I'm definitely, tomorrow's video hopefully will be a bit better. I will hopefully have played some more games, and there's so many. I've got a list of about 40 games I would like to play, and I will do my best to get to those tables. Oh, one big thing I'm gonna do, and actually you folks can help me with this, in all honesty. Today I spent some, or maybe it was yesterday. Oh, I'm losing track. I spent some time looking at Yo-Yo, which is one of these new generation of board games that integrates digital content as well. And I'm definitely going to look at Consequential tomorrow. And I scored an interview opportunity to talk about XCOM and look at XCOM and get a demo, which honestly I didn't think I rated high enough. I thought only the Tom Vassals of the world got to get in their special. So yay, that's a big coup for me. I'm playing with the big boys. Fantasy Flight, Dane. But the interesting thing is, I don't know how much I am in XCOM, in all honesty. From what I've seen of it, it looks very Ameritrashy. Tons and tons of dice rolling. But I'm so interested in that app. And I'm so interested, because to me, there's two big trends that are going to define the forward evolution of board games. Persistence, like what you see in Myth and stuff like that, the fact that, or Risk Legacy, the fact that the game state lives on outside of any individual session, I think that's so exciting, and digital integration. And so what I want to do is I want to actually, in one of these little updates, spend some time talking about the specifics of these different games that are introducing apps and other stuff like that, and talk about how they're all coming up with different unique ways to really kind of, again, evolve the board game art form and give us new cool experiences we couldn't get without those iPhones and Androids and laptops and whatever. So I'm definitely planning on looking more getting some more information about Yoho, which you might not even heard of. I'll be talking about that. Very neat little game anyway, you'll see soon. Hopefully tomorrow. More about Consequential, which some of you may know is my number one game. I'm not leaving this city without having played that. And finally, XCOM. And what I want to do is contrast and compare those games about what they're doing and what they're achieving and all that. And so my question to you folks is, if you see this, are there any other games that you know of at Gencon right now that are integrating digital stuff? Not just like creating a timer that you don't really need. Stuff where the game won't work without the digital component. Because if so, I want to seek those out too and try and do a kind of like a story about how all these different games are coming up with different ways to skin the same cat. I think that would be a lot of fun. And, we did our Spooning Meeples event tonight. It was crazy. Don't worry, folks. There will eventually be video going up. I'll link to it. It won't be too hard to find, but it was a blast. It went really, really well. We were there was the panel of us, the 10 minions trying to beg forgiveness from the council. The audience really got into it. They were heckling us and giving us a hard time. And actually, Jen was there in spirit because her character got evoked. She turned out to be the 11th minion, which was awesome. So Jen got to kind of indirectly be involved. Oh, I had so much fun. I'm so glad I did that. And again, I'll let you know when the video goes up. Oh, and then finally, I guess I'll mention, since a lot of people have asked, yes, in fact, my luggage did finally show up. And unfortunately, American Airlines snapped another wheel off of Old Red, and I think now, because that's 2 wheels, and she just can't roll anymore because it had 4 wheels. So first they took off 1 wheel, so I could still roll on 2 wheels, but then they snapped the opposite side, so now I can't roll it at all. Oh, it was good while she lasted, but American Airlines had it in for her, and so we're gonna have to put her down when I get back to Malta. But the important thing is, all the games showed up, so that was good. And that's it, folks. Signing out again. Hopefully there'll be I'll start getting some run-throughs of the show and another one of these updates tomorrow where I will talk about the games I actually played. Wouldn't that be nice? In the meantime, thanks for watching. And again, any other games like XCOM, Consequential, and Yoho that really push digital integration in new interesting ways that are here at this show, let me know. I'm too close. I can't tell what's going on anymore. And so help me out. Okay, folks. Thanks for watching. Talk to you soon.